What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. In case you're one of the few viewers that usually stops by, we're here to discuss something that is very important, not just to me, but to the millions and millions and millions of motherfuckers that are gonna play this game when it drops. If you didn't know it by the title, well, you know it now. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is right around the corner, and what better way to go ahead and continue building hype for this and hopping on the hype train in a more open manner. I usually just retweet stuff and discuss it on my own time and then talk to myself about it. I'm super excited. I'm super fucking excited. Today, I'm just going to go ahead and give a disclaimer. This isn't going to be weighing any pros and cons or talking about potential positives, potential negatives. I'm not here to be a critic. I'm here to be a fucking enjoyer. All right. I'm here to drop a 5-star review on Yelp because my food was good. I don't give a fuck. All right, so that's the disclaimer. If you're looking for anything that's going to potentially weigh the goods, the bads, the beauties, and the uglies, it's not going to be me, okay? I have been waiting for another installment of this game franchise, this game series, since like 2007, all right? Okay, I was only 7 years old. I didn't get that game in 2007. I probably got that game like 2010, 2011. Thereabout. Yeah, when I was like 11 or 10, 11, 12, around that age range. But this game, to not just people around my age, but people slightly older and maybe some younger folk, it's had an impact that I don't think people genuinely deep how crazy it is when a Dragon Ball game, okay, an anime game, which it is transcending at this point, by the way, is beating COD, Black Ops 6 in the fucking pre-orders for PlayStation 5. It is it's monumentous because it is all three versions of Sparking Zero are ahead of Call of Duty, and I bet you it's by a significant margin. The hype for this game is just fucking what? I still remember, it feels like just yesterday when that teaser dropped and everybody was like, oh, what if this is just like, you know, remakes or ports or whatever the fuck, and we're getting a whole ass fourth game in this franchise, Budokai Tenkaichi 4, now known as Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Holy crap, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, I definitely wanted to just preface, that's my disclaimer. No negatives here whatsoever. I am just here to be so fucking vocal about how excited I am about this game. So I do have a few talking points. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with my first little point of interest. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with just a little bit, and I mean a tiny bit, because I'm also not here to be like this very in-depth reviewer. Again, I am just here to fucking propagate the fun, to propagate the hype, to fucking spread it, okay? But here's a little brief history on the game series in case you want to feel a little nostalgic, you want to feel old, or you are somebody that's going to play Sparking Zero as your first Budokai Tenkaichi game, and you want to know a little bit of the history of the game series and why everybody's so fucking excited and why this just, you know, it's not just another Dragon Ball game. So these are all my personal opinions, by the way, and I am a bit rusty when it comes to these games in the sense of like I haven't seen gameplay for the prior two, but I watch gameplay. I watch it pretty frequently whenever the three idiots, Dodoya, Rhymestyle, and C-Reacts decide to hop on that shit and just, you know, have some fun and fuck around and do all that really fun stuff. But just a little disclaimer, okay? Budokai Tenkaichi, I believe, was released in, I did fact check this, so some of my facts are correct. But if I'm wrong, I will correct myself. But Budokai Tenkaichi released October 6th, 2005. Can you, oh my god, I just gleeked. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? It is 20 years old, pretty much. One more year and it's 2 decades old. That's crazy to believe. But it was released in October, and then it later got its releases in North America and Europe and stuff like that. Now, as somebody that's played all three games, I've been through the eras. I've played most of the Dragon Ball games that have dropped respectively on console, and I will say PlayStation. I will say PlayStation, because if there's some shit on the Wii I don't know about, I didn't play Dragon Ball Connect, alright, bitch? I'm not touching that. I'm pretty sure that was a thing. I'm not crazy. That shit was ass. I know it was ass. It was some hot, flaming Cheeto ass. Budokai Tenkaichi for its time was just a fucking phenomenal game. At least I think, to be completely honest, dropping this in 2005 on the PS2. Yeah, I wasn't capable of maybe running the transformations yet. The game overall, in the grand scheme of this trilogy, so far, trilogy, it's about to be a quadrilogy, if that's even a word. So far, it is definitely obviously the weakest one, which is a good thing because you always want your first game to be laying the groundworks for further improvement, for greater mechanics to be implemented into the foundation, and overall, you want it to be the foundation, the cornerstone of what you're going to make out of it the next couple of installments if it does get to that point. And I think that Budokai Tenkaichi did that perfectly. While it isn't a perfect game, and while it does obviously lack the flair and the speed that Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3 do for very obvious reasons, it played its part and it did everything perfectly. And when you just see it in its time period as just a standalone, it was fucking phenomenal. Even now, I still think it's fucking phenomenal for what it is and where and what period of time it was released. Now, next, when it comes to Budokai Tenkaichi 2, the installment that released a year later, released, I believe, again in October of 2006 in Japan, later releasing in North America, I believe Europe and stuff like that, the following month, if not the same month. I believe it was the following month, though. But that game, I think out of the trilogy, it's hard to say whether it's my favorite or not, but it was my first, and I hold very fucking precious sentiments. I have it lying around here somewhere. I have Budokai Tenkaichi lying around somewhere, and that damned Budokai Tenkaichi 3 eludes me. And I have a little story, a little tangent to go on that, and shade to throw at my cousin. While it released a year later, I feel like the improvements were fucking almost like astronomical. It moved faster. It played smoother. You could transform mid-game. The roster was fucking increased, I would say drastically. There were so many playable characters in that fucking game that it was mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling. So, with the release being 1 year later, what I think it did, I don't remember too much of the story mode of Budokai Tenkaichi, but the Budokai Tenkaichi 2 story mode was probably the most fleshed out story mode and probably the longest story mode we've had in I don't want to say in a Dragon Ball game, but in the series respectively. I don't remember. I've played a few of the story modes in the other games and stuff like that, but the way that Budokai Tenkaichi 2 incrementally broke down the story to feel like an episode of Dragon Ball, what you were playing, I thought was pretty neat. You played through the actual canonical stuff, and then you played through some of the movies and stuff like that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it was definitely the longest campaign within that series, I believe, out of the three. First one, I believe, was the shortest, and then the third one was slightly shorter than the second, but that's only because what they did with Budokai Tenkaichi 2 with the growing mechanics and, everything that they improved on in the following sequel, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, they condensed everything and made what could be 4 or 5 different parts and battles in the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 story. They made that into like 1 or 2 in the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 one. So that was the drastic change there. And I'm not going to talk about game modes or anything. I'm just giving a brief history. But when it comes to Budokai Tenkaichi 3 dropping the following year, I believe in October as well, and there was a slight delay in North America and stuff like that. It released, I believe, still again in November. So yeah, it released in October in Japan, and then a slight delay in North America and stuff like that. So those dropped in November of 2007. Essentially ending the era of Budokai Tenkaichi for the time being. Now, this game, fucking perfection. For me, anyway. I don't know. I don't care. You can call it nostalgia. You can call it whatever the fuck. My tragic story, and I'm going to go ahead and sum it up pretty quickly. I got Budokai Tenkaichi 3 when I was around, again, the age of 10 to 12 for Christmas. I begged my mom to get it for me. It was around like $40. We drove to a GameStop that was probably like 25 to 30 minutes away to get it. I got it as a Christmas gift. Played through all the campaign. I played it religiously. I was out here creating storylines like we're about to get in Sparking Zero, which is so fucking cool. I was creating storylines, just, voice acting everything out and just picking the characters and doing the fun little battles and the training and then stuff like that. I went from doing all of that to then letting my cousin borrow it. I let my cousin borrow it, and lo and behold, I don't see him for a while, I ask him about the game. He tells me he has it. I ask him about it again. Time later, he tells me they moved. He might still have it, and then I find out that he lost it. So realistically, I owned Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for about a good month. But in that month, I experienced some of the most blissful fucking Dragon Ball game experience ever, dude. When it comes to franchises being consistent in both quality and what they put out, it's hard to come around. You'll get a really good first game, a phenomenal sequel, and then a very letdown third game. Or a really good first game, letdown second game. Here we go, we picked it back up. Third game, rearrange that whichever way you want to do. That's kind of how it goes sometimes, But Budokai Tenkaichi, fucking slugger, home run each and every time without a shadow of a fucking doubt. I believe the roster, I'm pretty sure it was bigger. I'm gonna fact check that when I get to the rosters and stuff like that. It was bigger, and again, ran so much smoother. It played so much better. The story mode, while it was shorter than Budokai Tenkaichi 2, delivered it in a way that was just so fucking epic, that included these little like press R3 now to go ahead and, you know, activate this like event to, you know, further progress the battle and stuff like that, you know? And it like, you know, canonically progressed it with the way that it went in the story and stuff like that. And that was so fucking cool to little kid me experiencing these changes in such a slow amount of time. I believe the order I got them in was Budokai Tenkaichi 2, then 1, then 3. So to experience all of that was just phenomenal, dude. And was just, oh my god, it was incredible. And I don't even know how much more I can explain it, because it's been so long since I've played that game and it's been looming over my head. And you know, I think with the announcement of Sparking Zero, Budokai Tenkaichi used to be like $70, $80, probably slightly over 100. It's like $200 now, $300. It's a fucking crazy price. Do I think it's worth it? Yes. But do I think, you know, retro gaming prices are ridiculous? Also, yes. But I don't expect anything to sell for cheap, because again, retro and shit like that. Budokai Tenkaichi 3, further, faster, stronger, and it ultimately, I think I'm going to go ahead and say it was my favorite in the franchise and the best one in the franchise. You can argue some features in let's say, Budokai Tenkaichi 2 were better than they were in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 if you preferred the campaign, which I've heard some people say that they prefer the campaign in the second game than the third one. That's a totally valid opinion. No one's going to take that away from you. Me personally, with how cinematic the third game story was, I just loved that so much more. I loved being able to go from like fucking, I don't know, facing, you know, Shenron in, you know, fucking the whole GT shit, facing Sin Shenron, Omega Shenron, and going from just one battle, gradually transforming, to then moving on to Super Saiyan, fucking the whole Super Saiyan 4 shit, versus Budokai Tenkaichi 2's like broken down into parts shit that felt episodic, which again was very cool. But again, personal preference, I preferred all of the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 layout of the story stuff, plus the presentation for it when you had like the characters on the story screen talking about the battles and who was involved and shit like that. That was so, it felt intimate, bro. It felt really, really good and really personal. And I'm just, you know, I'm hoping they bring that back. I don't know if that's going to be a feature, but I'm hoping they bring that back. Okay, so now that we are done with the brief history of Budokai Tenkaichi as it culminated in October 2007, let's go ahead and just hit the nail on the head of what happened next. So what essentially happened next was, obviously, we moved into the PS3 era. We got games like Burst Limit, games like Raging Blast 1 and 2, Ultimate Tenkaichi, Battle of Z. If I'm missing another PS3 game, please let me know. Xenoverse, you know? So we got a decent handful of games, but what happened next with the Budokai Tenkaichi style of games, we're going to find out here real quick. Raging Blast, the successor to Dragon Ball Z, I think the unofficial successor to that franchise, to that series of games, I feel like, was Raging Blast. Now, do I have good things to say about Raging Blast? Yes, but this video isn't about them. It is about Budokai Tenkaichi. It was fucking phenomenal. I fucking love those games. They weren't, I feel like, they were beloved, and people were rooting for a third game for the longest time. People were like shunning out Xenoverse, like, hey, bring this style of game back. We want a very Budokai Tenkaichi-esque game, because we haven't gotten that really. And Xenoverse for me was very, very hit or miss. You know, it's more miss than it is hit. I'm not too big of a Xenoverse guy. I'm going to say that right now. Go ahead, crucify me, do whatever you want with that information. But it just wasn't my thing. I loved it. I thought they were good. I thought Xenoverse was obviously very raw, but Xenoverse 2 was what felt like Xenoverse should have been. But, you know, they've done a very fucking phenomenal job with that shit, and it's still getting DLC to this day. I think Raging Blast delivered very well. We're getting what-if scenarios, which I believe first appeared in Raging Blast, now in Sparking Zero, which I'm super excited that they brought back. So they are really just like worlds colliding. They are bringing in so much shit and stacking it so good. This is like a love letter to Dragon Ball fans, dude, and I hope this game's lifespan is my whole entire fucking lifetime, unless they make a fifth one. But we went from Raging Blast, which I thought was very good, to Raging Blast 2, which I thought was very phenomenal. Mechanics wise, what it offered was very little, and I feel like it kind of flew under the radar because it lacked very little. It had like a galaxy mode that nobody really cared about. I know I didn't care, and as somebody that didn't really play online at the time, you can clock me out of that one, because I was not doing anything really outside of, well, anything, because there wasn't too much to do. that was essentially the follow-ups for a Budokai Tenkaichi S game, what I felt like was the unofficial successor. Essentially was getting shouts for a third game that nobody really ever saw coming, to be honest. I never saw it coming with how successful Xenoverse was. And then the eventual release and success of Dragon Ball FighterZ, the likelihood of getting a third game for Raging Blast was very low, and I felt like it was a very vocal minority that wanted that game. But now, enough about the history of all of that. Let's talk Sparking Zero. Yes, essentially what you were waiting for. I am done going on a ridiculous little tangent. I might stamp these or put little like timestamps in the description and stuff. I'll probably put like a little text box at the very beginning of the video to let you know where you can go ahead and skip to if you just want the exclusive Dragon Ball Sparking Zero conversations. But now, let's talk Sparking Zero. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about that roster size. Okay, so when it comes to roster sizes, Dragon Ball, okay, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is going to offer us forms included. I've seen some complaints people being like, oh, why are you picking up a 182 character roster? Well, like, there are so many variants of the same character. Shut the fuck up, man. If you were a real Budokai Tenkaichi fan, you would know that those variations play a whole big-ass part in this game series, bro. We all love those variations. Like, who the fuck don't love Goku mid? Who the fuck doesn't want to vibe, throw it back with some Goku early, all right? And who the fuck doesn't want to chill with Goku end? Oh, wait. We in a new age, though. Now we can roll out and just hang out with fucking Goku Super, all right? I don't want to hear it. Yes, full power energy wave. Yes, some moves were similar. But again, I do like how slightly different some of the characters played. Being offered that much, especially with the customization that's coming with like outfits, stuff like that, I'm super excited. I'm super fucking hyped about it. Hopefully we can customize moves. Like what moves? No, that's probably not going to happen because of the variations. Whatever. Ignore my ramblings. But Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is going to offer us a whopping, I believe, 182 characters forms included on launch, not including DLC. Holy crap, that is like, I believe when I looked it up, Budokai Tenkaichi offered us 58 playable characters, 90 playable forms. Budokai Tenkaichi 2 took that shit a little too far with 129 playable characters. It doesn't specify whether those are forms or not, which I'm assuming they are. With forms included and stuff like that. So it should be probably 90 playable characters in Budokai Tenkaichi, 129 in Budokai Tenkaichi 2, 162 in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and Sparking Zero said, hold my fucking senzu bean, bitch, and they went to 182, and again, excluding DLC, which is going to be Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima, which I'm very fucking excited about, and we're getting those pretty much at the same time. We're getting that new anime dropping, and then we're getting fucking Sparking Zero. So we're eating good, Dragon Ball fans, in the month of October. Get your fucking plates ready, tuck your napkin in, knife, fork, get ready to fucking feast, because it's gonna look good. Now, when it comes to these roster sizes, I think it's fucking incredible. I think it's incredible, especially with the customization that they're throwing in there and stuff like that, and the fact that we have characters now from a new series, Dragon Ball Super. Obviously, no characters from the manga, so if you were expecting Moro, you know, Granola, fucking Ultra Ego Vegeta, Frieza Black, you're not getting any of that, unfortunately. It is just going to be characters that have been animated, but we're still getting a handful of those, and I'm super fucking excited. So a whopping 182 characters on launch. To me, that sounds like a recipe for disaster when you're trying to pick out a main and stuff like that, because I can see myself playing a few characters. I am a huge fan of Jiren, so I am definitely looking to hop on some Jiren. I'm looking to hop on Hit. I'm looking to hop on some sort of variation of Goku, because I fucking love that man. I don't know how much I want to go to UI, because I feel like that's going to be a go-to for a lot of people, and I do want to, you know, play some Vegeta, play some Broly, stuff like that. I'm also excited that we're getting some of the movie characters and stuff like that. That, to me, is just the biggest chef's kiss edition you could probably throw in this game, even though, I mean, people expected it, but still, some people didn't. A lot of people thought we were getting so many super characters. Like the roster predictions for this, when the teaser dropped, were so, like, significantly smaller. It felt like they excluded so many Z characters, like, from the movies, just because they thought, oh, we're getting super characters now, so bin these guys. No, we're getting everybody, bitch. This is a crossover on all fronts. I don't have too much more to say about the roster. It has increased significantly, and I'm hoping they do add more DLC as time comes. I really don't know who they would add from Dragon Ball Super off the top of my head. I really do. I want to think, but I ain't got nothing up there. So if you're watching this, leave it down in the comments who you think is going to come as DLC. for Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and touch on my next point, and that is just the way the game looks, the way that it plays, DLC speculation that I kind of just touched on. So I'm probably going to avoid that because I really, in my head, don't know too much of who they would add from Dragon Ball Super. They could add Belmont. I don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't remember the Dragon Ball Super trailer because I've consumed so much of those trailers that it's a whole vortex of characters that they've pretty much announced and shown us and stuff like that. So I don't exactly know who they've omitted and who they might add and stuff like that. But let's talk about the way the game looks and the way the game plays. Rhymestyle himself said it. The game's fucking perfect. The game is perfect. And I didn't doubt that for a second, bro. I was like, Bandai aren't stupid. You know, okay, when it comes sometimes to Dragon Ball, they have had hits or misses. It's not always perfect. You know, if you're a hardcore Dragon Ball fan and you know about the games, you've played the games, you know which ones are misses, which ones are hits, and you have your opinions on some of those. I have my opinions on some of the more recent ones. I don't fuck with Kakarot too much. I think it looks visually beautiful, but the game just wasn't for me. It was a little too slow when it came to the boss fights. I didn't fuck with that too much. Xenoverse 2, not too much for me. You know, etc., etc., etc. I fucked with fighters heavily, though. I fucking loved Dragon Ball FighterZ. But this game looks, oh my god, I'm like so glad they took a fucking gap between, they took 2 generations of console off in this game franchise. And yeah, you can go ahead and count Raging Blast as like a pseudo Budokai Tenkaichi, you know, set of installments. Yes, but also no, because I feel like Budokai Tenkaichi has this distinct feel from Raging Blast that you don't get from Raging Blast the same way that you do from Budokai Tenkaichi. They're 2 distinctly different games that you could go ahead and throw Sparking Zero at me and throw Raging Blast 2 and then ask me, hey, do these feel the same? They're obviously not going to be. One, I'm going to be a smart ass because they're not on the same fucking system. They're not on the same hardware, not with the same specs whatsoever. But again, one's just a Raging Blast game, one's just a Budokai Tenkaichi game. It never felt copy and paste. Raging Blast had things that made it feel distinct to itself. And the same thing goes for Budokai Tenkaichi especially. This game looks so polished, so clean, that every time we get a new character, you know, trailer and stuff like that, or a little bit of gameplay, you see what they fixed up. People have spotted, like, you know, flaws in very ridiculous still frames, and then the fucking next trailer that drops with that same character, or gameplay that drops with that same character, will have fixed that up already. These guys do not fucking play. They don't fucking play. And I really appreciate that they don't fucking play like that. This game is looking absolutely fucking phenomenal. It's looking gorgeous. It's looking so fucking clean. All the new mechanics that they've introduced into it, the new method of beam clashing and stuff like that's perfect because, well, let's face it, who the fuck wants to fuck these up, right? Who wants to fuck these up? Nobody wants to fuck these up. Back in the day, you could because controllers were way cheaper. These are the price of a fucking game. They're like $70, $80. I know I ain't fucking up my joysticks, bitch. I'm gonna be tapping that button. Or I'm gonna buy a throwaway controller for $70, $80 that I can use to do my little my little splurges with. I am very excited at the fact that they introduced so many new mechanics and stuff like that. I don't know if they ever specifically stated how long this game's been in development for, but I remember when the teaser dropped, they were like, oh, I want to say it was 2023 or late 2022. March 2023. And I remember people saying, oh, we're not getting this for like another 3 years, 4 years. It's probably still really early in development. We didn't get no footage, nothing. And then they went kind of quiet for so long, which people act like that's a very foreign thing in a market that's now, I feel, saturated with so much promotional material for games. People expect a game to be announced and a month later, or the next festival, whatever the fuck, where games get announced and shit, they expect just to be handed shit on a silver platter. I'm used to just it going silent. Okay, I don't care. I would prefer developers just work on the game, take their time, polish that shit up, make it look fucking amazing. And that is what they did with Sparking Zero. I don't know how long the gap was, but as soon as we got even just a crumb, the whole fucking community was fed. And we were ready for more, and we wanted more, and we got more. And look where we're at now. The marketing for this game has been fucking astronomical, as it should, because this is the best, the most popular, and I think the most recognizable Dragon Ball series when it comes to games. Budokai Tenkaichi. You can argue with me on that. I know there aren't too many. That's Budokai Tenkaichi, Raging Blast, Xenoverse. If I missed one, let me know in terms of like series and sequels and shit like that. But Budokai Tenkaichi to me is the biggest one. Everybody that mods that shit. I almost feel like they're from fucking Mexico because fucking Dragon Ball is huge in Mexico. Everybody loves the fuck out of Dragon Ball, out of Toriyama and stuff like that over there. So it's a fucking grand old time. People are still playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3 just with mods in this big old day and age. Even before there was even a drop of an announcement for Budokai Tenkaichi 4 Sparking Zero, everybody was just playing, whoever could play it, BT3 with mods, like I'm pretty sure on PC and shit. So tell me you're big without telling me you're fucking big. You're massive. Boom. Budokai Tenkaichi, biggest franchise there. So the fact that they skipped essentially 2 generations of console when everybody lost hope and never I don't think it was ever in the conversation for anybody whether or not we would get a sequel to fucking Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And here we fucking are, 2024, at the cusp of the release, just about a week away. Early access at the time of this recording, I believe, was what's the date today? A week from yesterday. But the game, I'm buying a physical copy. I am not getting as much as I wanted to get early access. I want physical media. I bought a physical copy. I can wait till Friday. I will live. And hopefully I can get a video out by Saturday because I'm so fucking excited for this game, bro. I am going to be grinding on this shit religiously. But back on topic, the way this game looks, the mechanics that are in it, the customization, just every little thing about it, the online, the fact that they added a co-op mode when the co-op mode wasn't even there when they first kind of, I believe, either dropped game modes or just started talking about what features would be available and stuff like that. So, or like a co-op, local mode and stuff like that. I'm so fucking excited. I'm so fucking excited. I think everything, the way that they have worked on this game, you could tell that they have poured actual effort, actual thought. It doesn't feel like a cop-out. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're bringing the fucking, the biggest fucking set of games in Dragon Ball. They're bringing the name back because they want to sell, because they're greedy and they're gross. No, they're actually, you can tell this is about to be a fucking banger of a game. I hope y'all servers ready to handle all this. And I know there's no crossplay, and I don't know if there are talks about crossplay or anything. Maybe crossplay can be one of the updates coming later down the line. If any motherfuckers on the PS5 want to run some hands, bitch, you better get ready to get caught. Because I'm not fucking around in this game. And I know everybody's, issuing out empty threats and stuff like that. My shit ain't empty. My shit is cocked. It's full and it's loaded. So anybody on Twitter talking big that wants to smoke on the PS5, you know where to find me. You know where to find me day one, bitch. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna do it. But yeah, like I said, it's not gonna be a super in-depth analysis as to what's going on. I want to get hype, bro. I want to get hype. But let's go ahead and move on to the next point of topic. My next point of topic, who do I think is going to be the most overpowered character in this game? I'm going to go ahead and just start by listing some of the characters that I think might be a little overpowered in this installment. Ultra Instinct Goku. I'm going to say Kid Buu. I don't know if that's far-fetched now with the kind of roster we have, but I'm going to say Kid Buu. I'm going to say Jiren. I want to think Jiren's going to be a little OP on launch. This is just my speculation, though. This is who I think. Drop down in the comment section below who you think is going to be the most broken character in this game, the most overpowered, or the most overpowered set of characters in this game. That reminds me, I think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to retain his status as one of, in Tenkaichi 3, he was the most busted fucking character in that game. He was fucking disgusting. He was vile. Every time you hopped on with your friend and he picked Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you knew you were in for it. Don't matter who you picked. It didn't matter who you picked. You were fucked. You were fucked. Sorry. But I do think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is definitely going to retain his status there as one of the most overpowered characters in this game, but I'm going to go ahead and toss Gogeta Blue in there as well. I would say that he's definitely, I think, going to be on par with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as one of the most overpowered characters in the game. I want to say maybe, I don't want to say Vegito. I don't ever feel like Vegito really had it like that. No offense to any Vegito fans out there. No offense to Vegito himself, bro. If you're trying to one-to-ones, go ahead. I low-key like Vegito a little more. Just a smidge, though. But who I think the most overpowered character is going to be in this game, I think UI Goku is going to be very overpowered, mind you. Those are just the names that I'm ripping off the top of my head. Whenever Beast Gohan comes into this game, which I'm assuming he is going to be DLC, now that we're touch back on it. Brainstorm. I think Orange Piccolo is going to be DLC. I don't know if Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are in it, or if these guys are already. But who I think is going to be the most overpowered character in this game is, drum roll, please. Whis. You want to know why? Because the bullshit we all discovered, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna say this right now, bro. And I hope this makes waves. It probably won't. I hope it makes waves though. I hope this message gets spread out throughout the community. You trash if Weiss is your main. As soon as we hop on, we fight, and I see that Weiss is your main, I know you're weak. You're weak. You don't have it in you to play this game, so you take it the easy way out and you play in Weiss. Because we found out that Weiss has a similar mechanic to Goku when it comes to Ultra Instinct. The only difference is Goku loses a pretty significant amount of ki when he dodges in Ultra Instinct, right? That is going to be the trade-off. You run out of ki, you're fucked. You're getting boxed up. And you probably can't dodge blasts or supers or anything. You probably dodge regular ki blasts, but like somebody shoots a full power energy wave at you, or a Gala gun, or a Kamehameha, a Big Bang attack, you know, Omega blast. You're not dodging that. But with Weiss, from what we saw, his ki was not draining. His ki was not draining when he was auto dodging. And people were like, no. This is definitely just a mechanic from the training. Like, no. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. Correct me if I am wrong. It's been confirmed that Weiss's ki gauge doesn't drop at all when he's auto dodging. So if they're going to couple it with the fact that he is, you know, a fucking angel, well, he might be one of the most broken fucking characters in this game. And what was that move that he had in Xenoverse? Was it Symphony of Destruction? That little twisty twirly thing that he had going on, that was one of the most busted moves in Xenoverse for the longest fucking time. If he has that shit, it's over. It's just over. All right. But I do think just because of that mechanic alone, with the lack thereof droppage in his ki, when it comes to auto dodging, he is definitely going to be one of the most broken characters in this game, and probably one of the most played because of that. Because people are going to get cheesy. People are going to be like, haha, skill issue. But the problem is me. And they're going to go ahead, they're going to choose Weiss, and they're going to try stunting on everybody. Well, guess what? We're going to find a meta for that. You are going to lose. You're going to be crushed, and you're going to writhe underneath the soul of the boot of the person you thought you were going to bully that day. And it's not going to look good for you. You're going to run. You're going to cry to your mama. You're going to hand your big brother the controller. And then he's going to lose too. And then the whole family's crying. But anyway, those are just the people who I think are genuinely going to be overpowered, very busted, very broken. I remember Kid Buu was fucking ridiculous back in the day in BT3. Same thing with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think Gogeta Blue is going to be up there. I think Vegito might have a chance of crawling in there, but I'm not entirely too sure. UI Goku, I definitely think is going to make waves in the overpowered conversations and stuff like that. Everybody's anticipating it. We're kind of waiting for it. Maybe fucking Super Broly might actually be in there. He might get a little piece of that pie. Who knows? But I definitely think Weiss. I think Weiss is going to be the most overpowered character in this fucking game. All right, so now that we're done discussing who I think the most overpowered character is going to be in this game, we're going to go ahead and just close up shop now. So what I've got to say is gear up for, what fucking day does it come out? What is next Friday? What is today? Today is the 2nd. It's October 10th, right? Next Friday? No, October 11th. Haha! Joke's on you. So gear up for October 11th. That is my closing statement. Gear up for October 11th. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to post some of the story videos. I'm going to post the what ifs. I'm going to post a lot of online matches, primarily though, because I'm super excited to duke it out. I'm going to take this game seriously. If there is a competitive scene, I want to be a part of it. I want to be competitive. With this game coming back, bro, with my literal childhood coming back, our childhoods are back in big 2024. That game that you used to bring your friend, your cousin, your brother, your sister, your sibling along for. You used to plug that second controller in. You used to fight. You used to spin the joystick and shit like that. All of that very game that brought you so much glee and joy and fucking euphoria when you were a kid is back. It's back on modern console, on the proper hardware with the proper facilities, and now it's going to be a fucking mental release. It's going to be so fucking crazy, and I'm so fucking ready for it. So gear up on October 11th. Get your main ready. Experiment. Figure out who you want to be, because I'm ready to hop online. I'm ready to take some names. I'm ready to kick some ass and chew some bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum, son. But I am ready for all of that. I'm looking forward to some very friendly competitive matches as well as some sweaty rage-filled ones because I know that's exactly the kind of juice that this game is going to give me. Now, get hyped, bro. If you see this video, go ahead and comment down below on anything that you want to input, who your favorite character in Dragon Ball is in general, what you're looking forward to the most with this game, what you plan on doing as soon as this game releases. Are you going to hop in the story? Or no, I've already seen the story a million times. I'm going to go ahead and hop online. No, I'm going to go ahead and play some what if scenarios because I'm super interested, as am I. If there's a feature that I missed or something, because again, this was very loose. It was not supposed to be anything in depth. It was just me expressing my excitement and trying to share it with all of you and hope that people join me in it and we have a cool little discussion at some point. Let me know who your favorite character is, what you're looking forward to the most, who you're planning on maining and stuff like that. Just be positive, be excited, be excited. It has been fucking 17 years since we've gotten a game out of this game series, out of the Budokai Tenkaichi series. What you thought would never come back fucking returned, and it's going to return with a big bang. You see what I did there? Big bang attack, Kakarot. Oh, get ready. October 11th, brother. I ain't Vegeta anymore. October 11th. You better get ready, Kakarot. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna beat you. Final Flash style. Oh, God, I can't do that voice. It hurts my fucking throat. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you really enjoy the content, get ready for some Sparking Zero stuff. Get ready for some more random stuff that I upload throughout the weeks and stuff like that. I do 2 to 3 videos weekly between the days of Thursday through Sunday. So please anticipate that. So just hit subscribe, hit the like button if you want to just keep posted with me. Go ahead and follow my socials. I will link those in the description down below. And just go ahead and fucking comment, the like button. Big bang the like button. Whatever your fucking favorite move is in Dragon Ball, do that to the like button. I would really appreciate the support. Drop a comment on whatever the fuck you want. Let's get into a discussion. Have some fun in the comment sections if you're here and you're watching this. And get excited because October 11th is right around the corner. And this is huge for gaming. This is huge for gaming. But it has been your boy Yusu. And I'm going to go ahead and catch you fucking Amazing Saiyans, Namekians, humans, androids. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.